What's up guys, JJ here, and it is time for another FM Virtual Stadium Tour. That's right, I am back and feeling better than ever, so let's get on with this. As some of you may have already worked out, today we are taking a look around the Stade de Gerland, the home stadium of Olympique Lyon, the French team. For a long time they were seen as France's best team, but since the emergence of all the money PSG have got a few years ago, they've dropped back into the pack somewhat. So let's talk about the stadium, and as always for you, the first fact I have on this stadium is its overall capacity, and it holds just over 40,000 fans. So if we take a look around the stadium quickly, you'll quickly work out this is possibly the most craziest or wackiest stadium that I've ever done a virtual stadium tour of on this channel. It looks a little bit crazy, there's no corners in it, so it resembles slightly, ever so slightly, a stadium which I built and shown off on this channel not long ago. Of course this one has a lot more heritage than the one I put together myself. Apart from that, it's your old Bogo standard stadium really. If I go through some of the facts for you, it was built in the 1920s. So it's a really old stadium, coming up to being around for 100 years. It was opened in 1926. So another 12 years and it'll be open 100 years. I said soon, but you know, compared to what it's already been through, that's not very long at all. But it was not used as a football club stadium until 1950 when Olympique Lyon moved into it. That's when it stopped becoming an all-round sports stadium and start turning far much more into a just football stadium. However, it did look like in the early days of Olympique Lyon being here that the stadium would be short-lived and wouldn't have a very long lifespan at all. They were planning to immediately move out and into an 85,000 seater new stadium. But those plans never materialised, and instead they increased the capacity of this stadium itself very short term to 48,000 seats, so they just got that little bit more out of it. It stayed like that until Euro 1984, when of course France hosted the tournament that year. It was picked as one of the stadiums, and it actually hosted a semi-final, so it's one of the three biggest stadiums in the country at that time. In 1986, so just 2 years later, it hosted the Cup Winners' Cup final. That's the winner of what we now call the Champions League and the Europa League facing each other at the start of the new season. If you look at it from a UK point of view, it's the Community Shield across Europe. It was between Dynamo Kiev and Atletico Madrid. Dynamo Kiev actually won. I believe they're a Ukrainian team. And the stadium then, after that, got chosen as one of the host venues of the 1998 World Cup, of course taken place in France, the one that France actually won. Their, I believe, one and only World Cup victory there. And, of course, games were played there during that time. I believe it hosted several group matches and a quarter-final, so it's dropped back since 1984 as being one of the biggest and most impressive stadiums in France. Anyway, we move on to modern day, and Olympique Lyon is still here, but they do have plans to move into a brand new modern stadium. They've nicknamed it the Grand Stade OL, so the Stade Gerland may be no more. They plan to move into a new stadium already with 58,000 seats, specifically built this new one for the 2016 Euro tournament. I believe it's already been picked for that as well. The 2016 Euro tournament is of course the one that's going to be played across all of Europe. Pretty bad idea if you listen to me, but I don't get any choice in these decisions. So yeah, I don't see why we couldn't just keep it to one country and pick a bunch of stadiums from there. But anyway, that's about all I have time to say for. Let's just take a look at once more at this kind of wacky stadium. It's mostly the ends of the stadium. It seems just the top one's kind of floating on top of the bottom one. It just doesn't quite look right, not to me anyway. But apart from that, thanks for watching guys. Please don't forget to check us up on Facebook. It's facebook.com/FM Stadium Tours. Or check us out on Twitter. We have pretty much the same mantle, at FM Stadium Tours. We even have our own website now, which I lovingly put together over many minutes, called www.fmstadiumtour.com. Apart from that, thanks for watching guys. Laters!